Welcome to Design Fusion's Solid Edge blog. This is part 2 of the Sweep Command Advanced Options blog. Continuing with the sweep options, we'll first look at the scale and twist options in the sweep options dialog. The scale and twist options are initially grayed out and unavailable until the initial sweep feature is created. Once created, you can return to the Sweep Options dialog to apply the Scale and/or Twist option to the sweep feature. Using the Scale option constructs a sweep feature by scaling the cross-section curve along the path curve. These options are available only for single path and cross-section sweeps after you select the path and cross-section curves. You can specify a scale value for each end of the feature. Using the Twist option constructs a sweep feature by twisting the cross-section profile around the path. These options are available only for single path and cross-section sweeps after you select the path and cross-section curves. You can control the twist by defining a number of turns over the entire path, by defining the number of turns per set path length, or by defining a start and end angle. To demonstrate the scale and twist options, I first must create a sweep feature using the single path and cross-section option. Notice that the scale and twist options are currently unavailable. I'll create the sweep feature using this curve as the guide path and this cross-section profile. Once the basic feature is created, I can return to the Options dialog. Notice that the scale and twist options are now available. I'll first apply a scale by setting the end scale value to 2. When I click OK to close the dialog, the scale is applied to the sweep feature. Notice the result. Likewise, I can return to the Options dialog and turn off the scale option. I'll then apply a twist option by changing the number of turns value to 1. When I click OK, one full twist is applied to the sweep feature. I can also use the turns per length option for the twist. For example, I can have one full turn for every 25 millimeters. You can see that this is a bit excessive, but the sweep feature is still generated. I'll change that to one full turn for every 150 millimeters, which is a bit more realistic, as you can see here. I can also use the angle option. For example, I'll apply a 90-degree angle at the end of the feature. Notice that this applies a quarter twist to the sweep feature. There is a unique capability in the sweep command using these options. I'll delete the current sweep feature and turn on a different sketch for the cross-section. First, notice that the cross-section is on the same plane as the path sketch. I'll launch the sweep command and attempt to create a single path and cross-section sweep feature. Notice that this initially fails. Instead of exiting the command, I'll click Edit and select the Options button to open the Sweep Options dialog. Notice that the Scale and Twist options are available. I'll select the Number of Turns option and enter in a value of 6. When I click OK, notice the resulting sweep feature that is created. The command has created a helical sweep feature along the guide curve. Additionally, I can return to the sweep options and apply a scale option. Here I'll set the end option to scale to half the size of the start size. Notice that the feature now gradually decreases in size. As you can see, the sweep commands offer some very powerful options, allowing you to create simple to complex shapes. The axis step on the vertical command bar defines a locking axis for the cross-section profile. This option is available when you construct swept features with non-planar paths and one or more cross-sections. A locking axis allows you to control twist in a swept feature. When you select a locking axis, the cross-section elements and resultant surfaces maintain a fixed relationship with the plane that is normal to the locking axis direction, which is constant. With no locking axis specified, the cross-section elements and resultant surfaces maintain a fixed relationship with the plane normal to the path, which varies. Defining the axis step activates the Maintain Cross-Section Shape option. The Maintain Cross-Section Shape option allows users to maintain or suppress the axis step. With this option turned on, the cross-section for the sweep feature will maintain the shape, size, and orientation. To demonstrate the axis step and maintain cross-section shape option, I'll create a sweep feature using the single path and cross-section option. I'll select this non-planar curve for the path and this square profile for the cross-section. A preview of the sweep appears, and I can select the axis step on the vertical command bar. Notice that the prompt bar states, select an axis or linear element to control the cross-section twist. I'll select this vertical edge on the cross-section profile. Notice that the Maintain Cross-Section Shape option becomes available and is active. Before I accept the axis step selection, I'll turn off the Maintain Cross-Section Shape option to illustrate the difference. I'll accept this and finish the command. Notice how the profile has distorted to a rectangular shape at certain portions of the non-planar path. Next, I'll edit back into the sweep feature. I'll expand the axis step and activate the Maintain Cross-Section Shape option. I'll accept this and finish the command. Notice how the shape, size, and orientation of the cross-section is maintained relative to the plane of the selected edge in the axis step. Adding a clamp to all cross-sections applies a common clamp condition to all cross-sections in the sweep, which eliminates bulges and sags between the cross-sections. This option is available only when there are more than one cross-section in the sweep. Users can also apply or remove clamps on individual cross-sections by turning off the Common Clamp option on the vertical command bar. To demonstrate the use of clamps, I'll first create a sweep feature using the Multiple Path and Cross-Section option. In this example, I'll select this single curve for the path, accept it, and click Next. I'll then select and accept each of the 7 individual profiles for the cross-section. Notice that as soon as I select the second cross-section, the clamp handles appear attached to each cross-section. When I click Preview, notice the result. Notice the bulges and sags along the edge of this sweep feature. Before I finish this command, I'll expand the cross-section step on the vertical command bar. This displays the clamp handles again. Notice that I can expand each handle and select either the No Clamp or Clamp to Section option. On the vertical command bar, I can hide or show the clamp handles using this button. Plus, I can create a global clamp setting by clicking on this button. With this option on, only the first clamp handle is displayed. The setting on this handle will control the settings for all cross sections. I'll apply a global clamp to section option and click Preview. Notice that the feature has less bulging and sagging than before. I'll return to the cross-section step and turn off the common clamp option. Next, I'll turn off the clamp option on these first two sections and on this last section. When done, I'll click Preview and Finish on the vertical command bar. Notice the results. Want to learn more? Sign up to our customer portal at the website listed on this slide, where you have access to knowledge-based articles, tips and tricks, how-to articles, and much more. If you need additional support, contact our support team at support@designfusion.com or call us at 1-877-215-1883.